Hey, good morning, everyone. Grace and peace. Welcome to Find the Intersection. My name is Paul Dezay. Today we're in Jeremiah, the second chapter, verses 4 to 13. Now, we started Jeremiah last week. Jeremiah is a prophet. He's the weeping prophet. He has the unfortunate responsibility for calling out Israel in their worship of other gods and predict the doom of Babylon coming and wiping them out, which does end up happening. So Jeremiah is the weeping prophet. He comes from a family of priests, and I love Jeremiah. It's a great book. Hard to preach through, hard to read through, but man, we need Jeremiahs. We need people to call us out when we've wandered away. And so this particular passage is kind of a call out. It's a courtroom scene. And so here's what we got. We got Israel has forgotten their story, and they forgot where they came from. And this is this idea of forgetting your story is something that happens all the way through the Old Testament. So God rescued them as a people from Egypt, from slavery, set them free, brought them through the wilderness, the desert, the pits, and led them into a land of plenty. He made a covenant with them, and God promised himself to these people and called them, and they agreed to be a holy nation, a kingdom of priests, right? So that's the deal, but they forgot that. And they find themselves in this situation constantly where they worship other gods. They worship other things. They give away their stewardship to powers, things, idols that end up controlling them. And that's their story because they forgot their story. So that's the situation. So God is calling them out on it, or through Jeremiah, God is calling them out. And the second thing is, because they forgot their story, they end up turning to worthless things. That term worthless is in there 3 or 4 times. And so Jeremiah wants Israel, and the byproduct is wants us to remember that we turn to worthless things when we forget our story. That last a couple of verses there, our last verse, it says, "For you have committed 2 evils. You have forsaken me, the fountain of living water, and dug out cisterns for themselves, cracked cisterns that can hold no water." And so what God, through Jeremiah, is communicating to them is, hey, you've kind of went this direction on your own, and you think you know what you're doing. You've built cisterns, and they're cracked, and they can't hold water. That's the story that you will find yourself in because you have gone to worthless things, right? There's no value there, and it will kill you. And that's exactly what happens with Babylon. They come and wipe them out. And it's because they turned away from the living water, the fountain of water, the true source of life. And and so we have to, as we read this, we have to remember the story, where we came from, story of Christ, right? And we need to remember that when we forget our story, we turn to worthless things. So the question I'm asking myself is have I turned to something worthless? I look at my life, how I'm spending my time, talents, and treasures, my stewardship. Am I devoting myself to worthless pursuits? Or am I drinking from the fountain of living water? The last thing that I want to mention here today is the first few words of this passage is "hear the word of the Lord." And I think that's such a powerful few words there, hear the word of the Lord. In other words, we got to listen. We got to listen to this truth, even if it's hard to hear, and then act accordingly, repent, respond, and worship him instead of these worthless idols, right? And so that's Jeremiah for me today. What did you get? If you share in the comments your thoughts, and then we'll be back tomorrow with Psalm 81. If you're in the Muncie area, I invite you to join us tonight, 7 o'clock. We're going to go through the intersections together as a group. And it is such an amazing thing to go through the intersections with a group of people and all sharing perspectives. And it's just a great Bible study. 7 o'clock here at Southside. I'll be leading that for the next few weeks. So, hey, come out and join us. Grace and peace, everyone. Have a great day.